In a world divided by nature itself, where elements ruled over land and sky, there existed two kingdoms that could never touch. To the east lay the kingdom of flame, a land of glowing skies and burning horizons. Rivers of fire flowed like molten gold. The air shimmered with heat. Its people were strong and unyielding, ruled by the fire princess Azara, whose spirit burned as brightly as her world. To the west lay the kingdom of tides, where endless oceans stretched beneath silver skies. Waves moved with quiet power and songs of depth. Its people were patient and steady, guided by the water prince Kale, whose presence was as deep and steady as the sea itself. Between the two kingdoms stood an unbreakable truth. Fire and water could never exist together. Where one thrived, the other vanished. For generations, the two lands remained apart, separated not by walls, but by fear. Each believed the other was dangerous and destructive. But fate does not always follow the rules written by the past. One day, at the edge of the ocean, something unusual began to happen. The tides shifted strangely, and the flames along the border flickered weakly, as if something unseen was pulling both worlds toward each other. Drawn by this disturbance, Prince Kale traveled to the boundary. At the same time, Princess Azara arrived from the other side. They saw each other across the fragile line where water touched scorched earth. For a moment, neither moved. Kale felt the heat, his instincts warning him of danger. Azara felt the coolness in the air shift, unfamiliar and unsettling. Everything they had been taught told them to turn away. But neither did. Instead, they stepped closer. In a world divided by elemental forces, two kingdoms stood at a boiling edge. Where the heat of fire met the cool of the tide, the very air whispered of forbidden secrets. Azara, you should not be here. Kale, neither should you. Despite the danger, curiosity drew them back to the misty border day after day. Azara spoke of the Fire Kingdom's burden, where strength was the only currency.
Kale shared the weight of the deep, a silence that felt more like a cage than peace.
Over the line, fire and water began to swirl together, creating harmony instead of destruction. But the world began to destabilize. The very foundations of their kingdoms trembled. The elders watched with stern disapproval, fearing the end of their ancient ways. They were forced apart, a wall of duty rising between their worlds. In isolation, the warmth faded into ash, and the currents turned to stagnant ice. As the world withered, they realized that separation was the true catalyst for the end. At the boundary, they found the truth. Only together could they restore the balance. The balance was not breaking because they had come together. It was breaking because the world had been divided for too long. Fire and water were never meant to exist alone. They were meant to balance each other, and so they made a choice. Not as rulers, but as themselves. They returned to the boundary one last time, stepping closer than ever before. The air trembled as their elements collided, steam rising in thick waves, the ground cracking beneath them. Pain surged through both of them. Their powers resisted, pushing against each other, threatening to tear them apart. But they did not step back. Instead, they reached for each other. In that moment, something changed. The fire softened not, extinguished, but controlled. The water still not frozen, but steady. The clash became harmony. The steam that once symbolized conflict rose into the sky, forming clouds that spread across both kingdoms. Rain began to fall over the land of flame, cooling its endless heat. Warm light touched the waters, bringing life to depths that had long remained still. The world shifted, not into destruction, but into balance. The kingdoms watched in silence as what they had feared became something beautiful. Fire did not destroy water. Water did not extinguish fire. Together, they created something new, something whole. Azara and Kale stood at the center of it, all not as opposites, but as equals. They had not lost their power. They had transformed it. From that day forward, the boundary between the kingdoms was no longer a line of separation, but a place of connection. The people slowly learned what their rulers had discovered, that strength is not found in isolation, but in understanding. And the story of the Water Prince and the Fire Princess became more than a tale of impossible love. It became a reminder that sometimes the things we fear the most are not meant to destroy us, but to complete us.